Hello everyone, my name is Kirti and I am an assistant professor in ITM. This is part 4 of business law and today I am going to cover the topic that is consideration, which is the lifeblood of every contract. It is a fundamental principle of contract law that in order to create a binding contract which the law will recognize and enforce, there must be an exchange of consideration between the parties. So consideration is simply something of value received by a promisor from a promisee. It can take the form of a right, interest or benefit accruing to one party, or some forbearance, detriment, loss or responsibility given, suffered or undertaken by the other. If there is no consideration, there is no contract, and if there is no contract, there is no obligation or liability. The term consideration is used in the sense of quid pro quo, which means something in return. When a party to an agreement promises to do something, he must get something in return. For example, it is a price of promise, right? So for example, X agrees to sell his TV set to Y for rupees 8,000. Here the TV set is the consideration of Y and 8,000 rupees is the consideration of X. Now, according to Section 2D of Indian Contract Act 1872, when at the desire of the promisor, the promisee or any other person has done or abstained from doing or does or abstain from doing or promises to do or abstain from doing something, such act or abstinence or promise is called consideration. So, basically consideration may be an act, means doing of something, right? So, an act or abstinence forming consideration must move at the desire of the promisor. An abstinence means promising not to do something. A promise, the promise of each party is the consideration for each other. It must have some value. Essential of valid consideration. Number 1, it must move at the desire of the promisor. So an act forming consideration must have been done at the desire of the promisor. For example, X house catches the fire, Y helps in extinguish it without being requested to do so by X. So Y cannot demand any payment for his voluntary service. Second is, it must move from promisee or any other person. For making a valid contract, consideration must be there. It is immaterial who furnishes it. It means that consideration may also be furnished by or third party, but it is enforceable only provided it has moved at the desire or request of promisor. For example, XYZ enter into an agreement under which X pays rupees 10,000 to Y to deliver a beautiful painting to Z. In this case, Z is a party to the contract but stranger to consideration. So here Z can enforce the contract if Y doesn't deliver a painting to him. Now there is a famous case law of Chinnaiya versus Ramaiya. In this case, an old lady transferred some property to her daughter on the condition that she should pay some annual amount to his maternal aunt. So there is a one contract between old lady and D, but on the condition that some annual amount has been transferred by her to her maternal aunt. On the same day, there is another contract, there is another agreement between D and P to pay the agreed amount. Later on, D refuses to pay the amount on the plea that no consideration had moved from P to D. Here it has been held that the consideration may move from promisee or any other person. Here the consideration has moved from mother to daughter, and as such maternal aunt could enforce it. So it may be past, present or future. Past consideration means where a person has already done something for another and then the promise is given by the other party. For example, A provides coaching to a CA student, a son of B at B Desire in the month of January. B promises to pay rupees 10,000 for his services in the month of February. Here B is paying for the past consideration.